Alright YouTube, it's time for the occult, video 119. Magick acts on my behalf in return for my work. Specifically, talking here about the occult, yes, but also, mainly, the literary side of the work that I do. Some time ago, I pledged myself, both for my own benefit and for the benefit of the occult in general, to release a certain number of works. And magically speaking, in a wonderful synchronicity, around the time I hit my goal for that year, all of a sudden everything started to shoot way up in regards to all of the rest of my work. Well, I've set new marks for myself for next year. I'm ahead of schedule despite taking several days off to basically dick around and do nothing. What I would say is some people would interpret this in the literal sense as demons are watching over me. I have to keep saying, though, I don't believe in demons as Christians believe in demons, or as Jews believe in demons, or Islamists. Of course, within Christendom, demons are denizens of hell, warped little figures with pitchforks, or hideous monsters, sort of like from H.P. Lovecraft lore that's seeped into actually Christian tradition more than you think. There are various grades of these demons, and primarily they want to bring you to hell. They want to keep you from worshiping Jesus or something along those lines. It depends on which Christian group you ask. They want to keep you out of the Catholic Church. They want to keep you from the saving grace of Jesus. Oh, well, you're saved anyway. They're powerless, but they'll try to fuck with your life. Again, it depends on who you ask, what their interpretation of the Bible is. Jews tend to see the demonic as more tricksters. That is literal, almost amusing, mischievous imps, which, by the way, can actually be tricked. Not just trick you if you know how to do it, or they try to cause you to stumble specifically because they've been sent by Jehovah, so that when you resist, you can actually be worthy of a greater blessing. It's actually almost a good thing if you resist the temptations that the little impish demon is giving you. In the Islamic realm, of course, jinn are even capable of being converted to Islam. They can be physically traumatizing. That is, they can possess people, cause medical or mental problems. At the same time, they wander around in certain waste areas of the world, open sort of rural areas. They attempt to possess travelers, to generally cause mayhem. Unless they've been converted, then they become Islamic jinn, which is rather interesting, because I've never heard of Christians trying to convert demons. I suppose they didn't think of that. Muhammad did first. But I don't believe in any of these versions of demons. Demons are inspiration. That is the daemon or daimon of Greece. It can also mean literally a dead, disembodied spirit. It can mean a wraith, as we would conceive of it today. It can mean to be possessed by inspiration, sort of an idea that's supposedly coming from some cosmic or divine or even, evil source. Inspiring you to do good, inspiring you to do bad, whatever it happens to be, it's coming from literally a daimon, an idea, a consciousness, a spirit of some sort. That's more along the lines of what I believe in. I've already told people that when I was much younger, I saw what other people characterize as a demon, specifically the being Stolas from the Ars Gotia. That being said, do I believe that this spirit reigns over literal legions of hell, or do I think that that's a Christian interpretation of a paganized spirit? The latter. I believe in paganism, in a more literal sense than many. I believe that there are all sorts of weird energies or forces or beings, that you may call them, out there. That being said, I'm in league with some of them, others I'm ambivalent towards. I don't dislike any of them. As far as the existence of things like angels, well, I don't believe in a paradise. I don't believe in a heaven. Therefore, I can't believe in, again, the Christian, Jewish, or Islamic version of what an angelic being would be. Sometimes it gets mixed up. Sometimes it's difficult for these people to interpret all the creatures that they believe in. It'd be much more easy to use a pagan classification system. It's far more simplistic. It is what it is. This type of spirit is a gnome. That's a troll. This is an ogre, whatever it happens to be. I'm not talking about him in the sense that you go out in your garden and little men with red hats start giggling and throwing acorns at you or something like that. It'd be kind of nuts to believe in such a thing. Maybe in Iceland. Maybe there's some weird remnant energy there. Who knows? But at the same time, I do credit some of my success to this fact. Now, I was already successful at doing some of the things that I'm doing before I really got into many aspects of the occult, even before I really began doing anything literary. But as soon as I came to this sort of, as you'd say, demonic understanding, things took off much more readily. I had more ambition, I had more drive. Now, you can use a secular explanation and say that's because you convinced yourself that you'd be successful. But I am. I was successful at the goals that I had in mind, in fact, more so. So that's sort of splitting hairs at that point, I think. Rationalize it if you want. It doesn't offend me or anything like that. But it was through my occult practice, it was through my understanding of these things, and through my interest in the topic that much of my success came. As far as politics and all of that material goes, a lot of times people say, for example, why do you publish occult videos? You only get a few thousand views. You're getting tens of thousands on political content or analysis or something. Say, because it's important. That's sort of the basis of my success. I'm also, essentially, you could say, under demonic contract to continue creating this material forever. Not because I have to, but because I want to, just because the payoff grows larger and larger. I'm trying to create the largest repository of material, for example, within occult literature. I'm trying to create the largest repository of affordable and proper quality literary works under that general umbrella. Because most of the larger publishing firms have only released facsimiles. Many individuals who have published a great deal of material, the same facsimiles, or they've released a lot of content, it's properly formatted, it looks good, but it's a lot more expensive. It's to collect a significant proportion of it would be out of the price range of somebody certainly in the lower class, probably in the middle class. We're talking $25, $30 per, for a paperback edition. You're going to run into a lot of money if you're collecting hundreds of these volumes, even over a period of time. So I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to popularize the occult with new audiences. That's why I talk about things that sometimes they only seem mildly related to it. Things on the fringe of politics, things on the fringe of science, like anthropology. You look back at the Victorian era, you'll find a lot of the occult literature of the day did delve into these topics. There's a reason why it became so popular, but it needs an overhaul. Somebody needs to re-release this stuff so that it's actually available to a larger audience. So far, most people that try to do anything akin to that only do it digitally. And many people, honestly, I will say, wouldn't have the skill to do that sort of thing. They wouldn't have the skill to edit it line by line. They wouldn't know how to format a cover or anything like that. They could. It wouldn't take that long to learn, but do they even have the ambition to do so? For 99% of the population, the answer is no. Well, there you go, I suppose. As far as the occult videos go, I would say I plan to release, again, as many as possible throughout the span of my life and or YouTube's life. Of course, YouTube could kick the bucket 10 years from now, for all I know. Maybe it gets supplanted by some site offering holographic videos. And by the way, I'd be the first person to sign up if that happens. But as of right now, it's the perfect platform for it. I'm speaking to the entire world about the occult. Even if only a month from now, a couple people have watched that video after the initial surge of subscribers have watched it. That's still a few more people than would have watched it if it hadn't been made. And so that's what I'm aiming for. I'm creating a massive catalog of these works. I'm not interested in creating one viral video that 10 million people watch and then everyone forgets who I am. 10 years from now, they do a Where Are They Now and show my face on TV or something like that. I'm interested in creating a long-term, stable catalog of material, literary material, video material. It's what I'm doing with the Occult Archive, which is slowed back down. I haven't seen any new materials on eBay, really, that I, would be in proper format to scan and or good condition, honestly, to scan. I'm not going to scan something into the archive if it's such crap that it'll be illegible. It'll be unreadable. Nobody would be able to tell what it's talking about. Say, is this really even about occultism, or is it a Berenstain Bears book? I have no clue. So I'm looking forward to the next year, 2017. I don't have any... For the last year, I had more of a solid estimate of what I'd be doing. And I undershot it on all counts by so much. What's the point of even making a prediction? Or an expectation? What's the point of making a set in stone sort of, well, this is how many books I want to edit this year. This is how many things I want to write this year. This is how many occult videos I'm going to upload. It'd be pointless. Because I'll either feel like shit because I'll be less ambitious or something like that and I'll fall short of them. Or I'll overshoot them again. I'll say, well, once again, what's the use? Here it is, it's August. I've already done all this stuff. What am I going to do now? I have to revise everything. Because I like to make more loose plans. I prefer a system over something set in stone. And that's what I'm producing. And remember, a reminder for people, I will at some point over this next year build a website. It's gotten to the point now where it's worth it, definitely. I'm headed up towards 80,000 subscribers. I'm selling about twice as many books as I expected to sell. Everything's way ahead, so what I anticipated waiting until maybe mid to late spring on, I might have to do maybe February or something. By the way, here in Vermont, April is spring. April's like early spring. May is like, okay, now it's getting summery enough so you can plant the cabbages, basically. That's how Vermont weather works. For any of you who are lucky enough to live south of the Mason-Dixon line, or you live in like, oh yeah, I live in Sicily. No, I live in Greece. Oh, I live in the Sahara. Well, you're lucky because you don't have what we would even consider winter. You never do. You know, a trace of snow on the ground and 40 degrees is not winter. You may consider it, so we call that spring, or maybe mid-autumn, honestly. It's really that bad up here. Still kind of want to abandon ship in New England and go to someplace a little warmer. I like to have a little bit of winter, some snow for a few months. Just not, when it gets 20 below, it's hard to edit at that point. It's hard to make videos, because they're going to have like 5 layers on even indoors. It gets that cold. It seeps right through the windows. It seeps right through the walls. You have no idea. A lot of you don't live in such a cold climate. You wouldn't know what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter how good your insulating is. It doesn't matter how much you turn the heat up. You're still going to be a little bit on the chilly side. You got to wear the woolly socks and coveralls and so forth. So yeah, I do have magic on my side. I do believe in a more literal magic than most. At the same time, you can rationalize. For some things I do. If some system of magic is an obvious hoax, I'm going to call it a hoax. A lot of people, they do like maybe tarot card readings, psychic arts, whatever. They look into a crystal ball. A lot of that is charlatan stuff. Now, if they're not asking you for money for these things, okay, well, that's fine. It doesn't matter if it's real or not because, you know, they're not bilking you, at least. They're not a charlatan. They're just maybe delusional a little bit. But if they're asking you for a $19.99 a month sign-up astrology service or something, yeah, that could be a little bit problematic. That's a business, not so much the actual spiritual. You're not getting anything physical in return. Now, if they're offering to draw you up star charts for $19.99 a month, okay, go ahead and get your star charts if you're interested. That's something tangible. If you find it valuable, if you find it interesting, it's something you can hold in your hand that's different. There's a reason I didn't even want to release Kindle versions of my books. I think that digital versions should be free. I don't even think they should be copyrighted. I don't even think there should be an ebook copyright law. I think they should be absolutely free to everyone. I prefer to drop them in the archive. So many people ask me for Kindle versions. I've slapped them on there. Half of them weren't even proper format. I don't even know when I'm going to get around to reformatting them all, because I don't even agree necessarily with selling them, but apparently there's some demand. So, yeah, it's just things are strange in my life right now, not in any bad way, but because things, oddly enough, are, you know, they're going so much better than I expected. I expected to get to the end of this year and be doing well. Instead, everything's doing a lot better than just well. Well, that's good. I'm not going to complain. But there is an element of the demonic in that people should probably know about. You don't have to worry, though. Like, I don't sick demons on people randomly. I don't even perform rituals most of the time. It doesn't seem necessary. Sometimes somebody pisses me off. All of a sudden, they get totally fucked up or something like that. I didn't even do anything. I'm like, don't blame me. It's happened multiple times just this year. And by the way, there are some people that will assume, and I'm sure they watch my content, they'll assume that I'm talking about them. Chances are, if you think I am, I'm probably not. They're people who, they wouldn't even know that I was thinking anything about them, honestly. So, yeah, magic is pretty cool. That's about all. Peace out.